Good evening, everybody, and welcome to your weekly therapy session. You're Russ Johnson, aren't you?
I am indeed, mate. Yeah.
Who am I?
You're Nick Lee.
Yes, and this is the Bergara War, covering all county stuff and normally a fair bit of non-county stuff as well. I was rushing around tonight. We've just got here for 7 o'clock. Well, you were sat here about 6:30, just ready, and forgot to invite me until a minute ago. My cat escaped into next door's garden, so I was running around trying to deal with that.
Oh, the drama.
Yeah,
the drama of that.
Yeah. I thought I'll go downstairs about 10 minutes early and get set up because Russell invited me any minute now. And then went down there. Kitchen window was wide open. Looked out there, and the cat was next door. She's an indoor cat, you see. She's very highly strung. She can't deal with the vicissitudes of modern life. Who can? None of us can now. Speaking of the vicissitudes of modern life, I've said vicissitudes twice in 5 seconds. I'm well happy. What? I think people need. There's a lot of doom and gloom going around, so people need cheering up. I think we're the guys to do it. So, what's first on the agenda?
I think you've come to the wrong place if you need cheering up. We're going to talk about Halifax, the Halifax match, and then we'll talk about the game against Wrexham on Saturday, and we have got a guest coming on beyond shortly from a very popular fanzine, a Wrexham fanzine called Fearless in Devotion. So we'll get Tim on as soon as he arrives. But yeah, that's it. That's all we've got. We've probably got rumours of Carl Wootton as well coming.
Yeah, right. No chance. That's mental.
Well, I've literally just seen it. Yeah, I've had notifications on for tweets of Stockport County.
I noticed. I get them.
And oh yeah, do you? Is that right? Yeah. Of course, yeah.
I noticed. I think it was. I think it was like Sunday morning after the Halifax game, and I got one. I was like, "Oh, Russ is ready." Yeah,
I was just expecting it, honestly. But we'll get into that as well. And they've literally just tweeted now, and I thought, "What is this? New player." It won't be Russ being sat now, I don't think, on a Wednesday. And it's a new episode of Who Am I? With Jordan Keane and Ashley Palmer. I'd argue it's not them that we need to know who am I. It's the other players we need.
Yeah, I think the other players need to get together and have a good old 12-man session of Who Am I.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be good.
And then the manager and the 864 backroom staff can do another one.
You see, I like the size of the backroom staff.
I've got no problem with it. It's just an easy target for a joke, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I think it's very professional, and yeah. I cannot argue with the size. Let's face it, it's probably a bit like something you don't know the size of. There's probably more people there than we actually know.
Yeah.
I was going to say something about Fritzl's house then, but I wasn't going to go there.
That's your type. I think you're normally the one who takes it that way on the show. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was 2 minutes for 9/11 last week, so we're beating that. We're all right.
Well, we're all right, aren't we? Right. I tell you what. Let's run titles and let's get into the Halifax match. I thought I'd do it twice just so I could prolong the agony of having to talk about the Halifax match.
Yeah. Well, I was drinking copiously, so we don't want the kids seeing that, do we?
No, we don't. This isn't for kids anyway. I've ticked that box on YouTube.
All right, sorted. So you can't find us on the YouTube Kids app. Oh no.
No.
And speaking of unsuitable for children, Saturday's performance then. How was it? You were there, weren't you? Tell me about the day as a whole. How was the day out to start with before we bring ourselves down?
Well, funnily enough, I've been supporting County since late 80s. Well, going in the late 80s, but properly in the early 90s. Never been to the Shea.
Oh, have you not?
No, so it was the first one for me. So I know other county fans have it's probably the second most visited on their Groundhopper app or whatever. But yeah, I've never been. It was a nice place. Yeah.
It's a proper ground as well, isn't it?
Yeah, all four sides. I was saying to my mate who I went with, Rob Brittner from Palaver Band fame.
Yeah. Friend of the podcast fame
Friend
as
of the
well.
podcast, yeah. I was saying to him, I said, they don't deserve this ground. It's massive. It's really neat and tidy. It puts some of them to shame. Really does. Yeah. All right, two ends were standing, but so what? It was nice, yeah.
Because I'm not of the era where I see Halifax as a football league club.
Same.
I mainly see them as a non-league side. So to see them, when it does put it into perspective. You do think, oh shit, they were a proper football league club at one point.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Premier manager on the Amiga 1200, 92, 93. Halifax, you had to start in the conference. Halifax were the team you started with because they were the biggest, probably just because they'd come down and stuff. I remember took them to European Cup glory and everything. Halifax. So yeah,
I bet you got free drinks for that, didn't you?
Yeah, they offered it me. Yeah.
key to the town.
Yeah, they carried me in.
Well, I mean, that fist.
But yeah, I mean that's probably the only good thing to say. I mean, the match itself, a top atmosphere. We absolutely. Everybody backed the team throughout the whole 90 minutes. That was really.
We'll just clip that bit. We'll clip that bit and just post it everywhere because there seems to be some misconception that no one's getting behind the team.
No, well, Halifax away. It was full. You could tell. I mean, we'll talk about the game sort of chronologically, but you could tell towards the end there was definitely a, and a song was an effort, but. It still sung him, and we sung before the kickoff as well as they were warming up, and you could see South of Wales was just nodding. You know when you get that thing on Football Manager where it's the body language or their expression, and it says it's convinced. I think that's the best one. You could say South of Wales just like yeah, I'm having this. I mean, it didn't turn out, obviously, but yeah, I mean, when I saw him nodding to that, and I was there, I was then thinking, yes, these are up for it today. And the first 40 minutes, can't fault them. They were, we hit the post. We did a lot without creating much. I mean, we hit the post, and that it was unfortunately the same old story. And then when Warburton got his goal from a free kick. There was a goal scored at Edgeley Park, a free kick. I don't think it was Warburton, but it went into Ben Hinchlife's post that he should have been covering.
It reminded me of the one he scored for us at Yeovil in the FA Cup, if you remember.
It was a lot lower than that, wasn't it? That one was mid-high.
I know what you mean. There. I was doing anything else really. But from what but it was a bit of I thought it was a bit of a silly foul to give away in the first place.
Yeah. I think Hogan will probably be the first to admit that he didn't have a good game at all. Another game where Hogan's not played well. But yeah, something quite contentious maybe. County fans were singing Warburton's name before he scored.
Yeah, the way I heard it, I thought it was just once the game was away from us. I didn't realise it was before we scored.
Yeah, it was before. So make of that what you will. I mean, that could have positive or negative. I don't know.
He was always going to score anyway. I think.
Yeah, I mean, we were saying it when when he was stepping up for the free kick. The disappointing thing is for that free kick, it went in on Ben Hinchlife's side again. And we had the draft excluder. So.
Oh wow.
When
have you about the draft excluder? When have you ever seen someone attempt a low free kick in non-league football? It's quite rare that you see it at the top level, but I've never seen it. I don't think at a level below the Premier League.
No, but then I can't say that I watch much non-league football apart from county. So
no, I'll try and watch the highlights and what have you on beat just to know what we're up against. But then when you're seeing like Dagenham and Chesterfield racking up the points. When meanwhile we're closer to third bottom than we are to third top, it does put you off it on a Saturday night.
Yeah, I can totally understand that.
I've started watching the music quiz thing on BBC.
Oh, yeah, that's good anyway to watch, isn't it?
Really good,
The
yeah,
hit
yeah.
list.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's ace, yeah.
Yeah.
I've got, well, they'll be watching probably. Emma and Dave are coming round on Saturday night. We're having margaritas. I'm going to watch it again. They don't know we're watching it again.
I thought he was going to say. I thought he was going to say Marvin and Rochelle are going to be watching. Just like what?
No, they can if they want.
Yeah. Just sorry, I forgot to say at the start of the show. If you got any comments, do comment. And we'll talk about certain ones if you want to put those in. But yeah, after 40 minutes, just got away with us going at half time 1-0 down, and I'm sat there probably like a lot of people. I hope thinking, right, we need a second half now. We need a proper second half where they either come out fighting or he's changed it. Can't remember if any subs were made actually at half time, but again, second half, it just nothing at all. We were sat at the end where we were shooting towards in the second half, and at half time we were saying we expect it all to be down this end now, so it should be a good second half because it's all down our end. No subs at half time.
That's from our correspondent Rob Brittner there.
That's our correspondent. Yeah,
it's funny. Halifax.
It's funny because I'd not had a drink and he did, so he remembered. Cheers, Rob. Yeah, no subs at half time, and then it was just so flat. They just overran us. I'm not ashamed to say I left before full time. Yeah, we were parked in a stupid place anyway at the ground, so we thought we'd make a dart and get rid of that. We walked past Halifax, the Halifax lads on the way in.
Ooh.
So
both of them.
No, it was a group of about 20, I think. They were taking the mickey out of everybody that walked past. So I just thought, we're 3-0 down. Well, no, we were 2-0 down at that point. I don't want to be walking past them again. When we've lost. So, and Jake Smallwood, he left after the second goal. Not done that for a long time. I think the last time I actually left early properly was when we got beat by Rochdale 7-2 at home. What about you, Nick? When was the last time you left proper early?
Oh, it was Oxford City away when we lost. That was when someone decided to leave and do it via the pitch.
Oh, so it wasn't you then? I was going to say, was it
you? We were on the side, we were like next to the gate that they were coming out of, and we thought, well, if they're going, we might as well.
Yeah.
And then realised there was no pubs anywhere near, so I had to go back.
Do you know what? That's one of the go-to stories when I talk up to any mates that are not county fans about non-league and what it's like and things. That's one of my go-to stories.
Yeah.
And I just cannot disagree with him for doing that because it's tin pot, isn't it? You're at Oxford City away. All right, there's a match going on, but just like, right, I'm going. Well, you've got to go all the way. Oh, sod that. Let's just walk off the pitch.
Because people say like, oh, you wouldn't leave a film early. It's like, yeah, but
bloody would.
yeah, I have done. Normally not because of the film either, just because of the people that surround me. Grazing.
Yeah, well, that's the worst thing about watching films, though, isn't it? People around you eating and making noise. Yeah. So that was the Halifax game. It was just an absolute shit show. Absolute was. Yeah, my lad always likes to comment that they don't start singing until the very end, which they kind of did again. We didn't hear him for much of it until the end. Yeah, that was it. Not much more to say.
Yeah, it was just thoroughly depressing. It was another Saturday night where I just switched everything off, like notifications off and everything. Like, nah, I can't be arsed with this. Horrible.
Yeah.
It's becoming all too regular now.
It is, and we said before we said after the Maidenhead match, didn't we? We said that if we needed a result against Halifax to set ourselves up for the Wrexham game, because anything below 2 wins before the Wrexham game is going to make the Wrexham game stupidly difficult. And our Wrexham correspondent is backstage. So we will bring him in a second. So I'd like to welcome Tim from the Wrexham fanzine, Fearless in Devotion. Hello, Tim.
Hi, chap. You okay?
Yeah, not bad. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm glad that you've still got your manager.
We're not.
Oh,
Sorry, I'm not.
Well, unless anything's changed in the last few hours, my understanding he's still with you. Great stuff.
He's hanging in there. It's mental.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone kind of expected it. I think Monday morning was when everyone was expecting an announcement, and then all we got was pictures of him taking training yesterday.
Glorious. I saw him. He was pointing to things, which must mean he's got some sort of sense of direction.
So it's the least you can ask for, isn't it?
You'd think so, wouldn't you? Otherwise, he's going to be stuck in the training ground car park until winter, or until he gets the chop, whenever that may be.
The new owner's about 6 million deep, and we've got a man with a sense of direction. So it's all going well in the world's new owners.
All about getting the basics right, as they say.
Yeah. Right. This is going to be so depressing. Right. But thanks for coming on, Tim. Right.
Is that it? Bye.
You know what? Right. In the six years that we've been doing this, it's nearly 7 years. Even down to National League North, I don't remember ever being this sort of downbeat about doing a podcast.
It's the money. That's what it is. When when there's that much money pumped in and you get let down, it's even worse because you've been promised the world.
Yeah. At least when we played Colwyn Bay away, there was no expectation whatsoever, was there?
No.
I know. I mean, it was 0-0 in the end.
Colwyn Bay away is where it's at.
Yeah.
It's a cracking day out.
Bit of seaside. It's what you want. Good setup down there. Good setup.
So sorry, go on. I'll start. Fearless in Devotion. Then tell us a bit about that. It's a fanzine, isn't it? Why the name Fearless in Devotion?
It comes from a song, basically. It's kind of like is it Men of Harlech? I suppose it is Men of Harlech song. It's like a play on that, where we've always sang it. It's kind of Wrexham is the name. It's based on the Men of Harlech tune, and there's just a line from the song that says "Fearless in devotion, rise into promotion." So, for some bizarre reason, it just kind of resonated with me, and I was like, "Well, yeah, that's kind of what being a not just a Wrexham fan, but a fan of any lower league club is all about. Really, you keep going back, you keep going back. You kind of expect the worst, and expect and just hope for anything better than shit. To be honest, that's kind of like sums it up. You are fearless in this devotion to what for many of us is like not a way of life, but a very, very big important part of it.
Yeah,
and your lads are absolutely buzzing, aren't you? The season ticket sales were just through the roof, weren't they?
Yeah, I think we're on about. They've had to cap it. I think we're on about 6,000. I think at the moment they've basically capped it so they can allow match day sales as well, which like members who signed up to the membership scheme get like a 5-day sort of pre-order window to get tickets. So there's at least, to all intents and purposes, a bit of a walk-up crowd on the day. But even though you're getting tickets for the match, it just ring fences so many seats for maybe those that haven't had the opportunity to get a season ticket, couldn't afford it, work odd shifts, live away. So they're trying to get the right balance for everybody, whatever their circumstances. So yeah, it's just weird. Sorry, my dog's being a bit of a dick. That's why I keep looking down. But yeah,
can he manage your football team?
Well, you know what? He's looked around a couple of times, which is more than what Ruska's done, isn't it?
So come on.
Back, and he look left and right, not just at his feet when he's getting interviewed.
I like him, Russ. I like him.
Yeah, so it's all a bit weird in sunny Wrexham. Yeah, I mean, what can you say? It's
bonkers, isn't it? It's proper mental. It's like, if someone said a couple of years ago, Ryan Reynolds, that guy you like off the films, well, he's going to buy a football club, have a guess at a football club.
Yeah.
I could have been still guessing now, and I wouldn't have got to Wrexham.
And all the Hartlepool fans who claim that they were supposed to be looking at them first and foremost are all sort of livid. And like, oh well, it doesn't matter now. We got promoted. Yeah, for how long? We'll see. But it's just really, really odd because when it was first announced that people with a Hollywood profile were interested, everybody thought it's probably Russell Crowe because he's got this random link where his grandfather was born in Wrexham. So we thought, well, it has to be that. All right, he's a bit past it now. Gladiator was 1997. A bit of time has gone since his Oscars or whatever. So, but we'll still take it. We'll still take it. And it turned out it was Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney, which was just, I don't know. It's only just about beginning to sink in, and I suppose the magnitude of it will only really hit home as and when they get to visit. So that's when it'll really sort of capture the imagination of everybody.
Have they ever explained why Wrexham though? I read an article. I think you retweeted it actually about a journalist trying to explain, but he didn't really explain it. He just said, "Well, it's a sleeping giant. It's a one-town club, all that kind of thing." It never actually said why they've chosen Wrexham.
Yeah, I mean, Sunday. I think the question was asked. I think Rob McElhenney just tweeted, "Why not?" Which is fair enough. But I mean,
if that's the answer, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
that's why we appointed Rusk.
Yeah. Long story short, I don't go back. But Humphrey Kerr, he's the executive director at the club at the moment. He's a comedian, but he's the executive director at the club. He was working on Mythic Quest, which is Rob McElhenney's show on Apple TV, as like a producer, director kind of vibe. Big Liverpool fan. He was always watching Liverpool games during lockdown on live streams. So Rob McElhenney got talking to him about it. It's like, why do you watch it? It's so pointless. There's so many stoppages. All they do is they just never seem to do anything. So maybe it was a bad Liverpool game because they've been pretty decent in recent years, to be fair. So I don't know. So he just kind of got him into sort of UK football down that route, really, and then kind of Rob got this idea of wanting to own an overseas football club. So he tasked Humphrey Kerr. I say tasked him. I imagine it was more than one person. I can't remember the name of the group now, but it was the same group that brokered the deal for Liverpool's tie-up with whoever they were. Is it Fenway? I can't remember.
Yeah.
So basically, various big companies that were brought on board to say, look, this is where we want to take it. This is what we want to do. So they looked at various clubs in not just sort of the English League football pyramid, but also in Scotland and a few other places. And then for some reason or another, they shortlisted it down, and then they looked at Wrexham and they thought, well, okay, they were still getting 4 and a bit thousand crowds when they were almost relegated to the National League North. The potential has always been there. It's been fan owned for a decade, and
Stockport's already gone. So
let's not do that. Let's not do what they did. So yeah, they kind of decided that Wrexham was the one because they basically said that whichever way you look at it, it's North Wales' only professional football league team, and they essentially looked at it as like, well, you could say that you've got half a country that are potentially interested in that. And we saw it last week. When we had Dagenham and Redbridge in town last week, went into a couple of pubs, and the amount of fluent Welsh speakers from up the coast. I mean, there's still a strong sort of Welsh speaking contingent in Wrexham, but the further west you go, the more commonplace it is. So to hear those accents in the pub, I was like, wow, this is really taking off again. And it turns out like a bunch of lads got like a minibus from Carnarvon and paid whatever it was over the odds just to come to the game last minute, drop the hat. So it's having those moments now where they've seen the potential and where it could go, and they've looked at the history and the previous European nights via the Welsh Cup and all these other little things, rather than just going, do we want to grab a Scottish First Division club that may or may not get out of the division, and then where do you go about sort of challenging that double of Rangers Celtic? So we've been fortunate. Out of everybody they could have picked, we've been fortunate, and we're we're completely running with it because it could have been a lot worse. If it hadn't been for their intervention, then I just don't know. It's the same as any other club, isn't it? You look at your Bury, Macclesfield, RIP. So it's not to say it wasn't unthinkable, because I remember when Stockport went down to the National League North, I remember having so many conversations at the time saying we just don't want to do that. No team is big enough to be infallible to dropping down the divisions, and we've seen that. I think it took Stockport, maybe I want to say, was it 4 or 5 seasons? 6. There you go, to get back out of it. Whilst we were there waiting with open arms. Hello, we're in a 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th season, or wherever it was then. So,
but that's become shorthand now. Like teams who are doing really badly at like the bottom of League One or League Two will say, like, "Oh, if we don't watch out, we could do a Stockport here." And it does make you feel a slight sense of civic pride. It's like when you see Blossoms playing at Glastonbury, you kind of like, yeah, go on, lads.
Well done.
Go on, lads. They got out of the old estate. Nice one.
But you're right though. If without the investment, we're the same. If we hadn't have got our investment, I'm gonna let's not say. But if we'd not got our investment, we'd be thinking now we're going to be in the National League for a long time, because there's always teams. I know, that's what I mean. That's why I stopped first time. But the way it's going, we could be. But yeah, what I'm saying is, like now, if they hadn't come along and invested, you're looking at Southend, Grimsby, I was going to say Rochdale then, Southend, Grimsby, Chesterfield, etc., all going up before you, and you it's really difficult, isn't it, to get the infrastructure in place to challenge at the top of this league.
Yeah, and I think somebody said it to me ages ago, and it kind of hit home. And they said, well, it's harder to get out of the National League than it is to stay in League Two, which is so true because of the way the structure of the division is. And we're still smarting from the fact that we finished second to Fleetwood when they had Jamie Vardy firing them to the title. We finished on 98 points, which is insane. I think it was the same amount of points that Liverpool finished with in the season when Gerrard slipped. And they lost out the title. So that was just to give you an indication of how dominant a team was, but you still missed out by the finest of margins. So, and that wasn't a team put together with a load of money. It was just a very well put together team and managed very well by sort of Andy Morel. So, yeah, I suppose that I've gone off the point a little bit, but yeah, it's a tough league. It's essentially a League Three, isn't it? With the amount of ex Football League clubs in it, and with the greatest respect to the clubs that come in that are maybe a smallerish club with a smaller fan base, they go to the supposed bigger clubs, and you kind of almost get a free hit. It's like, if we go there and get something from it, happy days, we'll be hailed heroes, and we won't have to buy a drink for a couple of weeks. If we don't, then people say, well, it is what it is. You look at the size and the difference, maybe it's to be expected. So you're kind of getting a free shot. Whereas the likes of Stockport, Wrexham, Chesterfield, if you go to Boreham Wood or Wealdstones of the world and you get turned over by 4 or 5, then there's something wrong. And that was kind of a tipping point for me last year in the Keats when we got absolutely ruined at Wealdstone. I think it was 5-3 or something. It was just unreal. It was horrendous. And you just have moments like that. I think you mentioned it when you came on our pod the other day about the sort of the reversal at home to wasn't Curzon Ashton, was it? I can't remember. You said
it was Rushall Olympic. I think I mentioned.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it wasn't even Curzon Ashton.
No, they weren't as good as Curzon Ashton.
But then those supposed anomaly results become a regular thing.
Yeah.
Like Wrexham, when you're in this division for 14 seasons, like we're like the sort of the butler at the National League mansions, like, oh, do come on in, we're still here, please leave. It's just like, oh man. So we've had a gutful, and the little uninitiated fans who keep saying it's the next Salford with all your money. Nah, I mean, if you've got any sort of self-respect, you'll do your due diligence and you'll look at the completely different things, Well,
that was going to be my next point. Actually, there's a lot of bitterness to. Well, I think we get a bit of it as well.
Yeah.
As a ex-Football League club having like rich owners and stuff. So there's a certain, and even from our fans, there's bitterness towards Wrexham. But of all the clubs, I'd rather they picked a Wrexham than like like another hobby club like Salford or Fylde or Fleetwood,
Yeah.
Crawley, something
Well,
like that. I thought,
yeah.
fucking good for them. Yeah.
I mean, I think Chesterfield's pissed off most people in the league because the whole furlough situation, and I'm sure some of their diehards deep down will go a little bit embarrassed, but we'll run with it now. We've got Tishimanga knocking the goals in for fun. Great player for them. Whether they can sustain it, we'll see. But yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, I'd rather us and the Stockport to the world keep going up and keep having that rivalry in all the divisions than anybody else, because I think Wrexham and Stockport are similar in the sense that we suffer from our geographical location. Right? You've got the Manchester clubs on your doorstep. Wrexham has always been a huge hotbed for Liverpool, Everton, Man United fans. Always has been, always will be probably. But with the money behind the club and the plans for the future, you'd like to think that, some of those younger kids coming through will go, no, I've got my first Wrexham shirt. I'm going to go with this now because we're not perennially shit year after year. We're actually got a bit of gumption and a bit of a 5-10 year plan, and hopefully they'll see it through as well.
Yeah. Got something to shout about. I mean, 14 years is a long time not to do anything, isn't it? I mean, in that time we've had a National League North Championship. And we've had a promotion, League Two playoff win. So these new fans, I've got massive respect for them. The younger ones that come through that support these clubs. I was talking to me mate who's an Oldham fan. They've gone through like 30 years from not winning anything, but there's lads who were late teens, early 20s going away now, and just because it's their club and it's their hometown, it's like when we were growing up, it was we had something to hang on to, didn't we? But got massive respect.
That's the weird thing. I mean, you speak to a certain generation of Wrexham fans now, like, oh yeah, my highlight supporting Wrexham was when we lost at Stoke in the FA Cup. Hang on, your highlight is a loss to Stoke in the FA Cup.
Yeah,
when Carrington scored with a great header to put us ahead, and that's a highlight. And like, I'm thinking, Christ, I was lucky to witness sort of promotion winning sides of the 90s and the 2000s, and then you've got the generation before me who saw the best Wrexham team in the late 70s. So and the European nights, we were speaking the other day where we beat Porto and Lyngby. And
I was watching that the other day, the Porto game. It was
mental,
immense.
like, mental games, and like playing Anderlecht. It's just over, your Cup Winners' Cup games, 2 legs. It's crazy. And then you see people, you think, oh, that's your highlight. So I think people are starting to think, you know what? The good times are maybe starting to come back. And if they do, everybody wants to be part of that journey, because these guys ain't going to be around forever. We know that. You'd like to think they're gonna leave it in a better position than they found it, which shouldn't be too hard. And then they've even said that they're not the Sheikh Mansours. They haven't got that level of money or capital, but they will.
An appalling human rights record.
Well, yeah. So it's just like that they need to go about it in the right way. And people are saying, "Oh, they're splashing the cash." Rob and Ryan haven't spent any of their money yet. They put £1 million in each, and that was largely to fund late loan signings last year when we were on our ass. Whereas now, the tie-ups we've had, sponsorship deals, where it's TikTok, Aviation Gin, Expedia, the season ticket sales, 7,000 or 8,000 shirt sales alone, gin sales, all of that has been reinvested into buying the players we've bought. So at the moment, long may it continue, it's been self-sustainable.
I like the TikTok investment, because, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Ryan Reynolds, or I don't know if he contacted TikTok or the other way around, but TikTok basically said, if you come on our platform, we'll sponsor you. He went onto the platform immediately. He got 7,000 followers on TikTok. So they generated that income, that revenue. That gets the sponsorship on the shirt. Happy days. All that money is circular then, isn't it? It's within Ryan Reynolds, it's within TikTok, it's within the club. So he's not actually had to spend anything. He's just used his profile with TikTok to generate that revenue. And
it'll be the same for the Welcome to Wrexham documentary. That's going out on Disney Plus next year, I think. And Some business type did like a big diagnostic story of how much money they would earn per episode and stuff, and it kind of pays for itself, and I mean, I'm aware of the various filmings that the documentary crew have done, and it's not just about the team. Yes, it's largely about the team, but they've gone into the community and spoke to the people and what the club means, why it means so much, why it's always meant so much. So they've gone about it in a very clever way, and they've always said that once the football team do well, the town will do well, and it needs to, because Wrexham's pretty much on its arse, like most small towns up and down the country and cities. The high streets took a walloping before lockdown, and even worse since. So we get 8, 9, 10,000 crowds regularly. All of a sudden, businesses are going to want to come back and have a piece of that pie. It's like, well, why wouldn't you? You could probably, even if you only opened on a Saturday and a Tuesday for the games, you're probably going to make more than what you would over the course of a month in previous seasons. So it's kind of like a no-brainer.
Well, all the talks of everyone's talking about TikTok as a sponsor and what have you, but someone in my local Facebook group the other day was asking where they could get a trailer, and I was going to recommend E4 Williams, genuinely.
E4 Williams, yeah,
it's in the head.
Yeah, I mean, a small, I say small, a very well renowned, reputable trailer firm in Corwin gets one of the world's biggest grossing movie stars to slightly take the piss out of Ivor, but then in such a light-hearted way, I mean, let's face it. I mean, Ryan Reynolds gets away so much because his charm just carries him through with it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are kind of almost waiting for us to fail, but they've got the right people in place. They've even said, we know nothing about football, but we'll learn as we go along, and we'll get the right people to guide us.
Our owner said that around the same time, and like the directions are just already
the Simon Rusk direction. There. I wonder what he was pointing at.
The exit.
No. When you're coaching, have you not been a coach before, Tim? I've been a coach. You point at all sorts.
Russ has got badges and certificates.
I'm pointing at cones and goals and everything.
I'm probably going to get slated for this, but I refuse to be one of those people at football who pretend to know more than the manager, because it's bollocks.
I'll never do that.
You always get that person over your shoulder. Get him off. He's rubbish. You need to convert to this system. What are you talking about? He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just pretending to know what he's talking about. And I think I had a conversation with somebody once, because it was just constant. Like, this guy decided he'd come, he paid his money, and it wasn't a case of supporting. It was a case, we're entrenched in shit. Whatever season it was, we're losing at home to bloody, I don't know, Grays Athletic or whatever. And this guy's like tipped up, and all he's done from the first whistle is just give dogs abuse to every player. They haven't touched the ball. Hey, shit, get him off. Fucking rubbish. I'm thinking, you've got to be kidding. And he started like spouting loads of coaching waffle. And I think it got to half time, and I just sort of turned around, a bit of a jokey word, and was like, "Oh, right, you think you can do a better job than whoever was in charge at the time?" He goes, "Yeah, I do actually." And he started reeling off all these coaching badges he's got, and he showed proved them to me that he got it. I'm not here to ask for your coaching credentials, but if you're that good, go and apply for the job. But yeah, you get know-it-alls, don't you, wherever you go?
You do, yeah, you do.
If you've got all these coaching badges and you're at a game at 3:00 on a Saturday, then it's probably not going well for you.
It's not going well. Exactly my point. I was like,
if you're paying to get into a match,
something's gone wrong. He's probably made a salubrious racist comment to somebody.
Peter Beardsley, is it?
Yeah. I'm a great coach, but I'm also a massive racist. So, yeah. Well done, you.
Okay, match on Saturday.
Oh yeah, we've got there's a match, isn't there?
Yeah, it's a match on Saturday. I was going to try and leave it as long as possible before we have to fucking talk about it. But
it's going to be.
The time's come.
Let's just get straight into it. Let's have it.
Yeah. What do you reckon? What do you reckon on Saturday? Well, I mean, we know who to look out for, don't we? I think Mullin's the biggest name on the team sheet for your lot.
Yeah, well, in terms of obvious stuff, I mean, he obviously knocked a fair few goals in last season, and there was talk he was going to join Preston, and he ends up joining us. So that was a bit of a bizarre one, considering we had like Gold on Mateo and some other random sort of bunches last year. So it's chalk and cheese, you know.
How's he doing so far?
Yeah, he's doing all right. I think has he got 4? I think he's got 4 or 5. 4.
That's the same as Adam, but we signed him in February.
No. Well, that's the same as the amount we've scored this season.
The thing is with him, I mean, there was a concern that obviously he had the service at Cambridge. Obviously, that team clicked, and that's why they got to where they were. We were a little bit behind in terms of preparation because, got rid of Dean Keats, and it's like, who do we appoint? And it was about getting that infrastructure in place. Where then it was the CEO, then we were getting various advisors to the board and all that sort of stuff in. Then Phil Parkinson comes in, think, we're slightly behind here where we want to be in terms of team prep and friendlies and stuff. So it's still a work in progress, but there's no doubt that Mullin is pretty much a finished article, or can be. He's got to back up what he did last season with another decent showing. But it's not just about his goals, his all-round game, his creativity. If he's not scoring, he'll make sure he'll definitely weigh in with several assists. Just a really clever, horrible player, just brute strength. Probably a shithouse, big mouth scouser, probably going to wind up the defence. Already a massive, massive, massive fans' favourite because it's no secret that he and Tozer and Hayden and all these other players have come in on a good wage, but they're earning it. Him specifically, obviously at that end of the table, end of the pitch rather, but really, really good player. When he was out, we missed him a little bit. Didn't really fall for him at Grimsby when we lost. But yeah, really good player. But, it's nice that we finally got threats all over the pitch and it's not necessarily just him. We've got options. We're still a little bit light in areas, but overall, it's probably the best squad. Well, it is the best squad we've had at this level, without a doubt.
How would you feel about having John Rooney in that team?
No, you're all right. It's fine. I think his best days behind him. Slows down play, doesn't he? I think, by all accounts. The Rooney thing was weird because I can't remember I can't remember the exact finer points of the contract thing, but he wasn't allowed to play a full game because if he played so many full appearances, it would have activated a clause in his contract to stay longer. It was something weird.
He can't come off.
It was dead weird. Yeah, it was dead weird. And the thing is, he did. To be fair to Rooney, even though that was a really weird contract stroke situation he found himself in, when he came on, he got on with it. So I'll give him that. I suppose he's inherited that from his brother in the sense that he's quite professional. He gets on with the job in hand. He weighed in with some decent goals for us, to be fair. When he left, I was like, another one gone. We've had it all the time at Wrexham. Our decent players always seek pastures new for decent coin, and why wouldn't they? It just so happens that that's come full circle now, and now we're in a position where we can go, here you go, lads. Here's a couple of quid. Come and join the Hollywood Reds and see what happens.
Hollywood Reds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
El Cashico as really need to start plugging that. It'd be brilliant if the Stockport program makers should have just whacked El Cashico on the front. It would be brilliant.
Well, it's something that I've seen before, and a lot of people don't like it. Well, Nick doesn't like it, I don't think.
Well, I'm not happy with our program. That would have been an improvement. Have you seen the pictures on our program this season, Russ?
No.
They've done like arty player pictures.
Yeah, black and white.
It looks like they've told each player that they've like kidnapped the family beforehand. Because the Quigley one the other week, he looks fully. There's like a little tear. There's a little tear there.
Did they capture him at the point his hamstring went? Is that what it was? Yeah, precisely at that point. Is he out? Is he definitely out? I'm guessing.
Yeah, he's out.
Yeah. They think it's going to be like late October, but I don't know. He's been running, but we'll probably rush him back. If Rusk's still in charge, trying to save his job, then he'll rush him back like he did first time round.
It's going to go one or two ways, isn't it? If you beat us on Saturday, it buys Rusk time, but a little bit of goodwill, because ultimately, if you want to beat anybody, it's going to be us. So, it gives everybody a bit of a boost, doesn't it?
I think that's exactly why we're all surprised that he's still in. We didn't think we thought it'd be a case of give a caretaker a week of training, let him have that game. It's a free hit. And
Well,
the
yeah,
players might react.
he might have got the instruction. Look, let's see what you can get from these players. Can they get up for a big match kind of vibe? With the greatest respect to the Halifaxes of the world, can you get them up for a kind of bragging rights? Please don't kind of lose, sort of occasion, if you like. So, and I think like one of the lads on our pod said the other day, it's got a 1-0 Stockport win written all over it, because we go to these places where they're in a little bit of disarray, if you like, and we just don't turn up. It's a good job it's not on the telly, because we definitely lose if it was on the telly. We're shit.
Well, I don't know what would happen then, because so do we.
Well, it'd probably be the flood. It'll get called off for floodlight failure or something. That'd be what happens.
That'd be preferable. I'd take that now.
Just turn out the lights. Somebody runs on, gives Rusk a bit of a wallop, but not that I would condone such actions, of course. But I don't know. I'm confident because why not? Because we've got the sort of the firepower now and a decent sort of spine throughout the squad. So it depends what he does with a few little injuries here, there, and everywhere. But yeah, confident. Why not? You would like to think that he's had people watch Stockport and how it went so wrong at Halifax. I think I saw some of the goals, and it fucking some of the defending was shocking, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But you just never know. I mean, it's all about reacting, isn't it? We got turned over at Grimsby, reacted, beat the leaders, should have beaten quite comfortably. It's like, as we all know in this division, consistency is the only way it's going to get you to the title. As soon as you start losing that, you're like, oh, for fuck's sake. We kind of, looking between 2nd and 7th. Yeah, how demoralising is that?
Yeah.
Because if Dagenham had beaten us the other day, that would have been a 10-point gap between us and them so early on. You're thinking, Jesus Christ. And even though you can claw it back, you don't want to be in that position so early on, because it can have a bit of a mental effect if you look at it. Think, Jesus, 10 points already. So luckily it didn't pan out, but I think it's going to be a hell of a race.
We've got a few fans now saying, "Oh, it's all right. Stick with him. We'll make the playoffs." And it's like it's mad how it's only September and expectations have already been dialed down.
But didn't you say that, was it last season that you went 20 unbeaten? So it's not as if he's not. Yeah, he doesn't become 18. A bad manager overnight, does he?
But at the same time, you look at who there was a lot of draws in there at home to teams we should be beating. Yeah. And then there's a few emphatic wins against teams that had furloughed half the squad and had basically packed it in for the season. So I think now everyone's up for it. We're starting to find that he's a bit limited. I feel bad. If he's watching, I'm going to feel terrible. I mean,
no, you're not.
Well, no, but I've said I don't want him to fail because I don't trust Simon Wilson to pick a replacement. But that's a conversation that we can once again table for next week.
He's already written his team talk, and he's just written on a big blank piece of paper. Nick says, "I'm shit." What do you say about that, boys? He's got a point, Gaffer. Got a point.
The thing is, Saturday's game, it's make or break for. I think it's make or break not just for Rusk but for us in the season. Yeah. If we lose to Wrexham, however we lose, if it's emphatically or 1-0 or whatever, it'll just be dead. Just be damp again. It'll be a damp squib, and everyone will be
horrible atmosphere as well.
Yeah, and it could get toxic. If we start losing.
I don't think it'll even take that, to be honest, mate. I think a couple of misplaced passes half an hour in, when we're struggling to break them down, as we probably will, and that'll be it then. People will just start.
Yeah, but there's a hope part of me as well that thinks, because of the talent we've got in the squad, we match Wrexham, we match any team in this division, don't we? With the talent we've got, player for player, pound for pound. If all of a sudden, in some miracle world, it clicks on Saturday, and we do. I don't know, say we get 2 early goals on Saturday and all of a sudden it's like, yes, this is on now. It could be the start of our season, couldn't it?
Yeah. I mean, the very fact that you've caveated it with by some miracle already suggests we know the way your mind's going.
Well, no, but that's based on what I've seen in the matches that, we've only scored 4, we've conceded 9, I think.
That's based on what you've seen and how jaded you are with counting and humanity as a whole.
Yeah, well, like we were saying before Tim came on for the Halifax game, I left early I was just like, because you get when you're at a match, after a match, the few days after, you have time to settle down. You crisis curve. You go through the bottom of the crisis curve and come back up, don't you?
Yeah.
For the next match. That's what generally happens. Straight after the match, you're livid, aren't you? I'm not having this. I'm going home. Blah blah blah. And it's the same. I bet it's the same for every fan.
Maybe that's why people are so angry at some of our games and why it has been a bit toxic on occasion, because they're just on social media all week moaning about it. And then when it comes to the Saturday, they've not gone through the stages of grief like you have. So as soon as something goes wrong, it just all boils up again straight away.
Yeah, but we said that last season, didn't we? When we all we could do was watch it on the streams.
It's just the same.
The social media just personifies it. Those that go to the match, I think and I hope, because they've been to that match, they're livid after it, but they sort of come out of it a lot quicker.
Yeah,
because you've vented everything at the match, haven't you? Hogan did a crossfield pass trying to find Kitchen, and it just went over Kitchen's head out for a throw, but under no pressure whatsoever. Already 2-0 down, and that was it for me. I lost me shit.
I love that. That's what did it.
That's what did it.
Lose it home to Russia Olympic. No. That misplaced.
Well, I love it when you get like in an innocuous moment during the game. You think you fuck off. That's it.
Exactly.
Like shook your program on the pitch. Yeah. Like, follow to this. I've had enough. I love that. You get like, look, it's not even a case. I had this rule that anytime Wrexham's conceded 5 or more, only at that point would I walk out. But I'm pretty sure there's been plenty of occasions that we've been losing like 2-0 to, I don't even know, somebody's gone bust since FC.
Not fair,
and you're thinking, what am I doing here? I could have spent 2 hours burning off my skin in the bath and putting myself through this. And you do it, don't you? But you keep going back because you'd rather get burnt by a shitty, overpriced cup of Bovril than have a bath at home. It's just the way we're programmed. None of us are wired up right for this.
Especially in non-league as well, where you're losing to these like tiny, shitty little horrible villages, and then you remember that you're in a town where they've got a pub on the train platform. You just think, it's not half time yet, but it could be having that fancy ale that they've got in that pub on the platform. Yeah, it's
losing to North Ferriby United at Wembley was the crux. I'm thinking, what has gone on? What have we become?
It's even worse losing to him at North Ferriby, I can tell you.
Well, yeah, I can yeah.
Shooting towards the allotment second half.
But you probably didn't have to pay 15 quid for a burger at their ground.
No, that's true. Actually, very reasonable, actually.
There we are.
But that is something we're going to have to get to grips with, because I know we're talking about like Saturday's match, but long term for both of our clubs, it's looking like we're going to go up, generally up the divisions with the investment that we've got. That's going to be a pain point, isn't it? Sort of having to pay 25, 30 quid to get into an away match. I don't know if anyone's even realised that.
20's plenty, is it? As the
yeah, but isn't that just in the Prem though?
Yeah, probably right. I can't remember.
I mean, definitely not that. King's Lynn's 21 quid.
Well, Halifax was 21 quid yesterday. Saturday, sorry.
Why? Surely it's just a mess about. It's just
I know when he said 21 quid as well, I was thinking, I hope you've got some change. I hope you've got a big bucket of 9 quids there.
It'll be fucking 19 quid next week. They got all the pounds to give back, haven't they? Shit houses.
Mental, isn't it?
But yeah, as we go up, it's going to get more expensive. Yeah. There we go.
Let's get out of this division first,
Yeah.
I can't cope with another 14 seasons in it. Jesus Christ.
Right, Tim. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure.
No problem. Enjoy the game. All the best.
Are you going?
I'm not going anywhere if you want me to. But am I going? I'm going. I'm going. Yeah, no, I am going. I had a bit of a meltdown because tickets went on sale and I'd had a lie-in and I completely forgot. And usually I relied, probably guilty of relying too much on the club to say, just to let you know the tickets are out at this time and this time and this time. And I woke up and it's like, Stockport tickets are sold out. I was like, you what? I was like, they were on sale 20 minutes ago. We sold 1,700 tickets in 20 minutes. I was livid, absolutely livid. ready to throw teapots around the house and all sorts. And then luckily a mate came through for me, so I owe him some cash. Do I? So happy because we haven't been there for forever, since 2012 in the league away. So looking forward to it because it's an old school ground and we get to plane spot if the match is shit anyway. So there's some planes coming over.
Yeah.
I bloody hope so, because that's the only reason I'm leaving the house on Saturday for the planes.
Yeah. No, it'll be good. We've had it done up. Bring some.
What's been done to it now? Because you've got a big stand, haven't you? Like behind the goal.
Yeah, the big stand's all been done up, so it's all been, the facade's been done, so it's cladding's all now sort of dark blue. It's all everything's colour, colour coded kind of thing. The brand, it's all been branded. Yeah. We've got a massive screen as well, so
it will blind you. Yeah,
it'll blind you.
You're not prone to fits, are you?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean,
you'll find out on Saturday.
You'll find out about 10 to 4 on Saturday.
If you lose it 4-0, I might have one of some description. But
but I mean, you probably won't see most of it because it's all inside the Cheadland. Really, all of our concourse inside the Cheadland has been done up like. Apparently, they reckon it's a New York subway.
Is it? Oh, you got to send me some pictures of that.
I did see someone shitting in a bin last home game. And he injects in the corner.
Yeah, I'll get you some. Yeah, I'll get you some pictures. But yeah, it's all been done up that way. So yeah, we're quite pleased with it. To be honest, it's everything in that regard. It's all the only downside we've got to say really is everything's on the green thing outside. That's the downside. Everything else is like really good. Yeah,
embrace it because you know what? In 20 years, when there's bloody houses there, it'll be a sad sight, won't it? You ask any York City fan. I went to Bootham Crescent when they closed it down. I had a bit of a bimble, proper ground. Their new ground is horrendous, personally.
Yeah.
Whatever. You want to share your ground with a rugby league team? Just very identical, isn't it? Middle of nowhere.
We've been there, done that. Yeah.
No,
yeah. 2-pint pots as well. Getting served, but that's in our end. You don't get served beer.
Yeah. Away fans are allowed to drink, apparently.
Yeah, I'm a sober warrior, so it kind of excludes me. So foolishly I put myself through this shit sober, for at least the last 3 years, anyway. So yeah, I can enjoy it and remember everything. So
the pies are good as well. We'd recommend.
Is it? Are we talking Kidderminster Harriers level pie?
No, I don't.
No one's ever going to beat Kidderminster.
Apparently, they've stopped making them at Kidderminster. What's that about?
I always hoped we'd get them in the cup so we could have a pie or a little cottage pie or something. No, yeah, they've had some row with the people who did them or something. It's all down to money, as everything is. Just like at El Cashico.
So what's the recommended pie? Just so I can put it out there and get some hungry, pisshead Wrexham fans.
Honestly, I think you're good with whatever you pick. Yeah. You can't go wrong with the steak, I think.
If anyone listening or watching has got a recommendation, comment it in and we'll put it up. Yeah, I've not had one yet.
No, I've had a steak one. I've had a meat and potato. Both.
Oh right.
Good.
Oh, both.
I'll try the cuisine. It'll be good. Let's have some of that. I imagine it's going to be. I might still give it quite warm for Saturday. It's so weird. I can't keep it with its weird September weather. I don't know what's going on. Global warming.
Might be just a light jacket day, I think.
Could be a light jacket.
Ice white shirt, ice white socks.
And a taxi to Rusk. You say that now. You watch. He'll be carried on somebody's shoulders when you beat us 2-0.
Football has a way of kicking you in the nuts, doesn't it?
In Rusk we trust. Jesus Christ. Who come up with that hashtag?
I think it was Brett Angel's left bollock, wasn't it?
Did you have Brett Angel on recently? I'm sure you had him on.
No, it's his left bollock. It's a mate who's called Brett Angel's left bollock. Yeah.
He mixed with some weirdos, Russ does.
What does Brett Angel do these days? Because at the time, he was one of those players where I always thought, I'd love to get him. He's a big, horrible shithouse, 8'2", looked like a psycho.
I want to say he's in... Is he in New Zealand or something? I want to say that. There's a coach in New Zealand.
Yeah, he's coaching somewhere over there.
Yeah. Kev Francis is a copper in Canada.
Is he? Amazing. Yeah, he was huge, wasn't he, Kevin Francis? Was it him and Priest that played together up front?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we had Priest on. A few months ago. Did he play for Wrexham? Did he say he played for Wrexham?
I thought so,
Andy
yeah.
Priest did, yeah. He was quite. I mean, he loved his cricket. He played cricket locally as well here after he played and stuff.
But he managed Broughton as well, didn't he? Or Airbus UK.
Yeah, Airbus. Yeah. Had some good players over the years, Wrexham, Stockport. You know, I think I put some stuff out before. Peter Ward, I think Kieran Durkin.
Yeah.
Nordwell, maybe.
Mark Lloyd Williams.
Martin Chalk.
Yeah, Mark Lloyd Williams.
Peter Ward's actually Peter Ward's a special guest on Hospitality on Saturday, and the club are scrabbling desperately to flog some tickets.
He's good though. He's good, Ward. He's
really good value.
Yeah, he's good fun, and proper good player, wasn't he? Really.
He was also he was assistant to Jim Gannon first time round. Yeah. He's had some good times with us. Ward, he has.
Remember that Adam Lafondra as well.
Oh yes, we could do with him back for Saturday.
Well, we couldn't because we won't create any chances for him.
Oh, he create his own. You know what he's like. Yeah, I know. He put Wrexham to the sword, didn't he? Mid 2000s, was it 5-2?
Yeah. He was good, really good. I thought. Did he end up playing higher? Did he go to Huddersfield?
Yeah, he played in the Premier League for Reading.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And he banged. I think he scored 100 and odd goals for Rotherham before that as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's still playing in Australia now.
So, just so I can take it back a little bit before you kick me off, is it apart from the obvious ex-Wrexham players that frequent the Stockport squad, your Alex Reeds and Rooney's, is there anybody that? I mean, we've mentioned Mullins. Anybody that you think, he might do some damage if he fucking pulls his finger out of his ass?
South Wales for me.
Yeah,
the Welsh wonder on the wing.
I'll take a keen interest because the way the Welsh squad is thinning out with injuries again, it might not be too long before he gets a bit of a call up anyway.
Well, I don't think it'll be long before he's in the Football League. He's just signed an extended contract in the summer because I think they're expecting to lose him at some point. But he's comedy fast.
Yeah.
He's like one of them players where you see him running, you think that's just hilarious. That's like a cartoon or something.
Who was sniffing around? There was rumours of him going somewhere, weren't they?
Bound to be Cardiff. It's always fucking Cardiff.
It's like League One Championship level, wasn't it? But
yeah, it wasn't Cardiff. I mean, he was a schoolboy at Cardiff. I think that's where he grew up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not sure, but there was rumours of him leaving us pre-season to go into the Football League, but then he signed a 2-year deal. So I don't think it'd be long before he is gone because he is mustard. He's fucking mustard.
Yeah. It's just a shame we're not playing a system that gets the best out of him because he's probably our best player. I think.
We've got loads of them though. We've got Whitfield. Do you know what I mean? We've got all these players that on paper, pound for pound, honestly, they are quality players.
Yeah, we signed the best winger in the league from last season and don't play with wingers. That's the type of thing we've got going on at the moment. That's the crosses we have to bear.
Wonderful. That's a managerial masterstroke right there.
He's played everywhere. It's been hilarious, hasn't it? Just seeing where he's going to play every week.
You just know that every Stockport fan that have clamoured for a certain managerial decision in the last few weeks, he's going to make all these decisions for Saturday now, isn't he? Just to keep everybody sweet. And I'm like, oh, bollocks. He's mixed it up. He's played a completely different system. You got South and Wales thrashing it left, right, and centre. So I don't know. As we say all this, it probably end up 0-0.
I mean, our fans kind of identified the main issues about 6 months ago, and there's still like nothing's changed. Not only are we not moving forward, we've like the last few weeks we've started like actively going backward, and I think that's why people are were willing to give him time. I think.
I think if this wobble had happened Christmas time, January, you kind of get given a little bit of leeway. But because the spotlight's always on the supposed, I'll see where they are after the first 10 or 12 games.
Yeah.
We're fast approaching that, and you're well down where you should be. You're kind of not even sniffing, but you're kind of like...
That's it, yeah.
That's what causes the panic. And then the panic causes, a lack of unity between the fan base. And ultimately, that is what leads to there being a managerial change. Because if you're not going to get paying customers in to watch what I'm guessing is being served up is pretty poor, then at the end of the day, it's still a business, isn't it? You need to put bums on seats, and if it's crap, it'll turn people off eventually.
Yeah. That's it. I think I said on your podcast earlier in the week, or Sunday was it? We're not. We were expecting to be up there and challenging with Wrexham, Chesterfield, Notts County. We're not even getting our asses handed to us by you lot. We're getting them handed to us by Wrexham, Dagenham, Redbridge, and Yeovil, and that to me is just not acceptable. If we'd have had a slow start where we'd have won, say, I don't know, say slow start, good start. If we'd have won 3, fourth game we got beat 3-2 away at Halifax, I can take that. But not the way it's happened and the performances that they put out in those defeats. It's
But even when we have gone 1-0 up, it's not like we go 1-0 up and think, yeah, let's fucking have these now. It's just right. Let's hope we don't concede now. That's it. The first day we played Dagenham at home on the first day. We were 1-0 up after about 20 odd minutes, and we'd absolutely dominated. And you just thought, this could be like this could be 4 or 5 here. And we just decided we didn't want to pass the halfway line, and ended up getting battered. It's like, well, but it's been the same every game since. Just don't know.
Yeah. Don't give Tim any more confidence to go away back to his fan base.
I'm not getting carried away because I'm too long in the tooth to have if we can replicate any of Stockport's results over us in recent years, I fucking take it, because I think before we got dick last year, I think the first 15 minutes we were great, and then you scored, and then that was it. Just fell to shit. And that's the big difference between our squad now, is that it's very much a case of, right, okay, we've come in, people are looking at us, there's an element of more pressure. Yes, we're being well paid, but let's show them why we're being well paid. Let's show them that we can be cohesive and that we can go about playing it the right way. I think that this squad of players is determined to prove a lot of people wrong. And why wouldn't they? You got people there saying, "Oh, you've only gone for the money." Well, yeah, I have, but I also want to get this club promoted at the first attempt, be an absolute hero for decades to come, and then build. So I think it's kind of like a twofold thing. Yes, there is a project going on. I hate that word when it comes to stuff like that. I'm here for the project. Don't use that word. But by the same token, we all know that football career is very short, so you want to max it out for all it can be. Especially if you've got a young family. Toes as an example. Cheltenham fans are up in arms with him leaving, but he's 30? I can't remember now. He's maybe a bit younger. I can't remember, but it's 3-year deal. Young family, very young family. His missus is self-employed. Fairly easy move to make, So, but they're coming with pedigree. These are winners. These are people who've won promotions. And that's what we need. We've had the experience, but littered with youth and a lack of experience. Whereas now we've got a team that's been there, done it, and now they have to go and do it again. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm confident for Saturday. Confident. We'll see.
God, someone is.
But look at it. It's kind of like a free shot. If it all goes to shit, you can probably get rid of your manager. You can get Gannon back with a nice little...
Oh, do not.
that would boil some serious piss. That one. I'm all for that.
I couldn't believe it when you told me the position you were in when he got sacked. I was like, you've got to be kidding, because that would only happen maybe in the Premier League if you were like Chelsea or something and you were 10 points behind the leaders with a game in hand, blah, blah, blah.
And you were out of every cup competition.
Yeah. It's mad. I don't...
We just held West Ham for like 86 minutes. West Ham took 86... West Ham's first team that got into Europe took 86 minutes to score against us. And then like a couple of weeks later. That's the most upsetting thing, is that we sacked a club legend.
Right. Can we not talk about this again?
Well, no, because I was just going to get on to Dean Keats.
Oh, yeah.
Because Dean Keats has got to... Dean Keats had the legend status there as well. But I think from what I saw, it was pretty much unanimous that he was going to go at the end of the season anyway. Yeah,
great play, great servant to the club. Ultimately, the brand of football wasn't the most exciting, but then you speculate to accumulate it's 5th Division football. What are people reasonably expecting as well? But yeah, it wasn't pretty. It never really was. Very rarely would we turn anybody over. And yeah, I mean, I've been reliably informed now that he worked with a very, 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 very small budget last year, and he kind of oversaw a team that almost went down, but for the grace of COVID to stop it, to turning a team around that almost squeaked into 7th place, almost, which, still looking back is nowhere near good enough for a club of Wrexham size. However, he did do that. I think somebody mentioned this week, I wouldn't be surprised if he tips up at Barnet to do a bit of firefighting and gets him out of the shit. And he's good. He does that. He's good at doing that. There's no doubt he's got some managerial credentials. It just wasn't meant to be at Wrexham.
Is Martin Allen dead then?
Mad Dog Martin Allen.
I just assumed he'd be taking the Barnet. When you didn't say that Martin Allen would take the Barnet job, I assumed he must have died or something.
My weird little story about Martin Allen's when he was boss at Chesterfield and we tipped up at Chesterfield. I don't know. It was first season they got relegated, and we went there in March. And I'm not kidding. It was fucking freezing. The coldest I've ever been at a football ground since Stoke away in the league or whatever. It was Baltic, man. It was so cold I had to go to the Asda across the way and buy a snood because my face was starting to it was horrendous. We got there that earlier. Oh, we'll have a little wander around this new ground and think it was going to be. It's not exactly going to Dortmund as it is. You don't exactly get a guided tour. But like Mark Allen was walking around the ground with his missus and his dog, and he's like, "Oh, hello, welcome to Chesterfield." It's like, what? Like the mad dog has just welcomed us to Chesterfield while he's walking his dog with his wife around the football ground. I just thought it was dead weird. Yeah, quite a nice guy, but yeah, batshit, isn't he? Batshit.
Yeah, absolutely bonkers.
Yeah,
but he'll get the older shot job, so it's fine.
Yeah, as long as he's all right, as long as his kids are getting presents at Christmas and stuff. It's the right time of year for it, isn't it?
How many clubs has he had? How many clubs has he managed? Probably 8, 9, at least.
At least, yeah. So, some of them like on multiple occasions as well.
Well, yeah.
There was another managerial departure, wasn't there, as well? It's Barnet and Aldershot.
Yeah.
They're the only two, aren't they? Well, there was more, wasn't there? But were they in the south? Were they south?
Yeah.
Non-league.
Yeah. I can't remember who the Aldershot manager was, but we all know Harry Kewell, but he seems to be making a mess wherever he goes, really, isn't he? So
it was Darren Searle was the Aldershot manager.
Because
I remember because I thought it was a bloke from Yeovil, but it wasn't.
Darren Searle, wasn't it?
Yeah. I thought he's moved about a bit, but it wasn't.
I know, yeah, that's quick work, isn't it? But yeah, it's a shit league, isn't it? Shit league.
Yeah, it just is, isn't it? It just is.
It just doesn't get any better. It doesn't matter how long you're here, it doesn't get any better. But grin and bear it, hopefully, for the last time this season, for God's sake.
Oh, that's confident.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think we've got a good chance. The only thing is that we, being a Welsh club in the English league structure, can now only buy free agents and unattached, basically. We can't go out and go right. Here's
that's bonkers. That is.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's just how archaic it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Remember when we tried to sign Caden Jackson from Wrexham and it didn't go through because of international clearance, and then he pitched up at like some championship club a month later.
Yeah, it was Ipswich, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird. Yeah.
There's a great picture of Caden Jackson leaving big man Steve McNulty on his ass at Tranmere away, but you can see Steve McNulty's gone doubled over the advertising board and his belly sticking out. It's brilliant. But so you like, we take the piss out of McNulty, but he's been there and he's won stuff. So
that was mad. That when we first dropped into non-league, I think he was playing for Braintree when we first, or someone like that. And then he went to Luton.
He was at Luton as well when he for a bit.
Yeah. Well, then we took the piss out of him, but he's got into the Football League before we have.
I mean, his pace isn't his greatest asset, but positional wise and in the air, he's proved himself to be all right. Despite his later years. So yeah, can't believe I've come on a Stockport podcast and bigged up bloody McNulty.
I had no idea it was going to go this way. We do go pretty far off topic sometimes, but that's a new level. At least it's still football.
Let's talk about Brian Kennedy. Another one on the dartboard. Well, never mind. Shit houses come and go, but we still stick around, don't we? So
Yeah. Good stuff. Right. We need to call it a day.
I've taught the hind legs off both of you in the hope that you're going to say, yeah, you know what, you might win on Saturday. We might.
No, we're never.
I've
No, we're
already
not going
said
to
you
say
probably
that.
will.
We're not going to say that. You might. To be honest, Tim, you might as well stay on for the last bit that we've
Go on,
got.
then.
If you've got the time, all we're going to do was.
This is where we sing the goodbye song, don't we, Russ? All together, the words are going to come up on the screen.
When it's
together
going
now.
to gas lighters, I'll dim the lights. Get absolute sort of proper big match vibes on the go.
No, because that's all we had on the agenda. So all that's left to say is, if you are watching on YouTube, please do subscribe. We've had, believe it or not, 70 new subscribers in the last 24, 36 hours.
70, that's higher than my IQ.
Yes, it is. It is. Don't forget, all of our content is available on the Fan Hub app, and we've got a new blog out tonight. The scarf my grandfather wore. I posted it just before we came online, and Shera, and have a read of that because it's. I'm not ashamed to admit there was a tear in my eye when I read it.
Is this the one where you had a little tear flowing?
Yeah.
All right, I'll have a bath before I read that then.
Read it in the bath.
I've got a new phone. I worry I'll drop it. I need one of them little shelves.
Yeah.
But then I'll start eating in the bath.
You can disguise your tears in your dirty bath water. Then think about this.
Mrs. will come in. What you crying at? I'm not. It's the water.
It wouldn't be the worst thing I've hidden in my dirty bath water. I'll tell you that.
Oh dear me!
Every bloody week.
Right.
There you go. I found it. I'll have a look at that in a minute. There we go.
Yeah,
do.
There we go.
Fans, we can't see that. It's just
on the
like
Fan Hub app. Yeah.
And
if you're watching this, do install the Fan Hub app. Choose county. There we go. Look at that. See, that's fantastic. He's on it.
He's not even a county fan, and he's on it. So there's no excuse.
Hey, you get extra credits on all that caper if you look at other people's stuff. So
yeah, that's the only reason I listened to yours the other day. It wasn't because Russ was on it. I just thought I'd get some credits here. and then Russ happens to be on it. I was like, oh.
I realised I forgot how to read instead of just scrolling through the BBC Sports app. I was like, I've got to read stuff again. Phone's dumb us down massively. There we are.
Right. Thanks, chaps.
Cheers.
Good luck, boys. All the best.
Yeah, have a good day out. Enjoy yourself. We'd recommend the Pineapple on Castle Street for a drink.
I thought you were going to say the pineapple pie then. I was like, you got to be joking. All over that.
We're flaunting our wealth now, aren't we?
Pineapple's good for pizzas and pies in Stockport. Everyone's a winner. You learn something new every day. There you go.
Not the worst thing I've eaten on a match day.
No, you definitely don't want that either. That'd be messy. The pineapple, right? I believe there is a quite a tight policy on away fans, but we'll see.
Yeah, definitely don't go to the Pineapple. I'll just definitely don't. Yeah, no. unless you're like the mentally ill,
or wearing a casual connoisseur scarf or hat. God bless. Finest export, lovely clobber. Yeah. Was that a plug? I didn't even mean to give him a plug then. I just realised that.
Yeah, he's a county fan. He's a county fan. Yeah.
Good lads. Good lads.
Some of us are.
Yeah. My advice would be go to wherever you're advised to go by your local constabulary.
You're not coming in.
Yeah.
Thanks, Paddy.
Yeah. Go where the head loo tell you.
Look, I'm just excited about coming back to a proper ground, and that's not being disrespectful to the others. It just is proper. And that's what makes good atmospheres, isn't it? You can go to these. I mean, Halifax is all right. It's a bit cavernous, especially with the sort of crowds they get.
Yeah.
If they had 9,000-10,000, it'd be banging atmosphere there, but they don't, so they won't. So yeah, looking forward to it.
No, it'll be good. Right. Thanks for coming on.
Cheers. I'll shut up now because I've prattled on forever.
That's all right. And cheers for your chit chat, Nick.
Top
notch as always.
Thank you, Russ, for the chit chat, the music, and just for all round being yourself.
Thanks, mate.
If you weren't yourself, you wouldn't be you, would you? And
then it'd be someone else.
Yeah, and I don't think I'd like that.
Right. Let's call it a day, mate. See you later.